Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be about baby registry for all you first-time moms who don't really know exactly the really important things to register for. I know when I was a first-time mom, I registered for like the bare minimum. It was mostly like receiving blankets and onesies and stuff like that. And so I'm going to talk today about the important things to register for. There's a lot of important things that I never even knew that I needed until after my baby was already born. And I'm hoping this will give some of you a good head start. I'm going to start listing things from, of course, everything is important, but there are things that are least important and there are things that are most important. So I'm going to start with the least important things to register for. The reason I say that these are the least important things to register for is because 9 times out of 10, a lot of what people get you at your baby shower that don't really look at your registry are these things. They're more of the common things that people get other people that are having babies like. So to start listing them, receiving blankets. Receiving blankets, you get a lot of those, and they come in packs most of the time. And so you end up with just a ton of receiving blankets, and they're handy. But nowadays with like the swaddles that they have, like it's like a little swaddle sack that you can put your baby in. Now that they have those, receiving blankets aren't like super important because receiving blankets are more so for like swaddling. But you could also use them. They're good like imitation burp rags. Like if you've got a baby that spits up everywhere more than what a burp rag covers, receiving blankets are super good. So receiving blankets, I have washcloths on the list. A lot of times people get you washcloths because it's an easy gift to buy. You really can't go wrong with washcloths. Diapers and wipes. Who doesn't get diapers and wipes at a baby shower? It's super important to get diapers and wipes because you go through them so fast. It's amazing to be able to stock up on them, but they've even got baby shower games that are just like full of bringing diapers and wipes. Like I had my baby shower yesterday, which went super well. It was a lot of fun. It went by fast because it was Super Bowl yesterday and people had parties to get to and stuff to do for that. So we only made it 2 hours, but those 2 hours flew by and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed my baby shower. It was a lot of fun. But some of the games that my sister and my stepmom and my mother-in-law, because they're the ones who put the baby shower together, some of the games that they came up with were, I can't remember the actual name for it. It's like called like the Midnight Diaper or something like that. And there's like a stack of diapers and a Sharpie, and people can come and write like little messages on the diapers. And so that's a good way to get diapers. Diaper cakes. Diaper cakes are really popular. I have gotten a diaper cake with every baby shower that I've had. And if you don't know what those are, look them up. They're super cool. People get really creative with making diaper cakes. It's not actual cake, by the way. It's just diapers set up to look like a cake, and then they like hang little tiny shampoos and powders and creams and washcloths and binkies. They just decorate it really cool. So go look at some examples if you don't know what I'm talking about. And then they also did a diaper raffle. So anybody who brought diapers and wipes, and I believe they got to put in a raffle for like every box of diapers that they brought, or a pack of diapers. And it's also really important to get the different sizes of diapers. Don't just ask for like a ton of newborn, because they grow out of newborn diapers really fast. So newborn, sometimes, depending on your baby, preemie diapers are good to get, but I wouldn't necessarily ask for those. Just newborn diapers and size 1 diapers and a lot of wipes, because you use a lot of wipes. And not necessarily just on the baby's bottom. You find yourself using wipes for everything, to clean up their face, clean up their hands. If you have other kids, you use it on the other kids to wipe off a surface real quick. You use baby wipes for everything when they're around. And so diapers and wipes, they are very important, but they're not really necessary to register for because people usually bring them anyway. Baby blankets. I didn't get too many blankets this time around, but with Avery and with James, I got tons of blankets. People brought me tons of blankets, and I'm glad I didn't get a lot of blankets this time, because generally your child will choose what blanket most comforts them anyway, and then you don't really know what to do with the other blankets. That's what happened with James. James has one particular favorite blanket, and I never really knew what to do with the rest of them because he didn't want any other blankets. And Avery, she's got about 4 different blankets that she likes. They're all her Kiki. She calls it her Kiki. And so we kind of start, go through all 4 of her blankets. She's put her blankets to use, so that was good. But I think I only got 1 or 2 blankets yesterday. So that's good though, because you don't need just like tons of blankets. So I don't really find it necessary to register for that. A lot of times people like to be creative, and they like to make you a blanket themselves. Like if they like to crochet or they like to sew or anything like that. So I don't really think blankets are necessary to register for, because a lot of times people bring those. Same with onesies. People will load you up with onesies. You can get onesies anywhere, and they're amazing to have because you do need to change your baby a lot. But again, not necessary to really register for because people like to bring them anyway. And the reason these next few things that I list, the reason I say that they're not really necessary to register for is because, well, one, I'm going to start with gift cards. A lot of times if somebody doesn't really know what to get you, or they only got you a couple things, but they wanted to do more, but didn't really know what to get, or didn't really have a whole lot of money or whatever, they will get you a gift card. And gift cards are amazing to have, because whatever you don't get from your baby shower, it's super helpful to have those gift cards to go get the little things, like these 2 things I'm going to list right here. Like a bottle rack, like a drying rack. So when you hand wash your bottles, you can put them on that rack, and that's really helpful to have. And also a bottle scrubber to actually like hand wash your bottles. If you don't plan on using a dishwasher. I have never used a dishwasher on my baby's bottles. I did get that little basket that you could put in your dishwasher to put like the nipples in and the rings and stuff, and I never used it. Some people like to use it. That's totally fine. I just have always found myself hand washing the bottles and binkies and all that, and believe me, you'll even use it for breast pump parts if you plan to do that. So I just don't think that it's necessary really to register for the really small things like that, like a bottle scrubber or a dishwasher basket or a bottle drying rack, because you will probably get at least 1 or 2 gift cards, and you can use those gift cards for those smaller, cheaper items. So I just don't think it's really necessary to register it. You can totally register for it if you want to. That's just what I find to be least important to register for. Next, these are things you should register for, but again, not a must, because you can use your gift cards, or if you get money, or a lot of times people don't really know which one to get you, and it's just really kind of helpful that you go to the store and you pick up what you personally want or what would be easiest for you. So number one on that list is breastfeeding supplies. If you plan to breastfeed, I didn't really put breast pump on here because some people, I don't know where a lot of people get their breast pumps. I got mine through my insurance. They provided one for me, so I just had to go pick it up. But I think if you buy it, or like if you get it from a store, then I definitely think it's something important to register for because they can be really pricey. But if your insurance helps you out with one, or sometimes doctor's offices can help you out with one, or pregnancy centers or whatever, sometimes the hospital can help you out with one, whatever your situation is. I wouldn't really necessarily register unless you have a breast pump already or you know which one you're going to buy. I wouldn't register for breastfeeding supplies because you don't really know which ones to really register for. And you might try out a couple different breast pumps or a couple different supplies, see what fits better, what works better, what your baby likes better. I mean, you could register for milk bags, but again, that's also something that you could get yourself on your own time. I think they're pretty inexpensive. Same with like nipple cream. You might want to try out a different couple kinds that you prefer. You don't really know until you use it. That I have always used, I believe it's the Lansano brand, or I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's like purple. But this time around, I might try and use something a little bit more natural. I know a little bit more as I've gotten older and more experienced with having kids than I did when I first started, and I have always just used Lansano, the purple one, and you can totally use that. That worked really good for me. It has a lot of a texture like Aquaphor kind of. You may even just want to use Aquaphor, but I would probably recommend like kind of wiping off your nipple before putting your baby on it, if that's what you use. But there are so many different kinds out there nowadays. Shop around, look around, and that's why I say it's not really a must to register for, but you totally can. Again, swaddles that I was talking about, you can register for some of those, but a lot of times kind of under the onesie or blanket category, a lot of people will get you a swaddle. Or you can go to like a children's like recycled clothing store. That's where I work, is a children's recycled clothing store. There's kid to kid, depending on where you live. There's once upon a child, depending on where you live. And I'm sure there's like so many more that I don't even know about. And those are really good places to go because they're very gently used and in great condition, and they're probably half the price than what you can get them for at other stores. So again, not super necessary to register for. You may also prefer swaddling your baby yourself in the receiving blankets. And so you don't really need to register for those. This is something I have never registered for. I have never even used one, but this time around, I'm probably going to have to, is a Diaper Genie. You can totally register for a Diaper Genie if you want. Depending on where you live, like, it was always easier for us just to wrap the dirty diaper in like a grocery bag and then throw it away. But now that as of January 1st, they passed like no plastic bags. Like, it's a law. You cannot have plastic bags. And so we don't get grocery bags anymore. So this time around, I am thinking I'll get either like one of those trash cans with a lid, or might get a Diaper Genie from work, but just put like an actual trash bag in it instead of buying the Diaper Genie bags, because sometimes those can get really pricey. So however you want to dispose of your baby's diapers, maybe you're using a cloth diaper. That's why I put a Diaper Genie under that category, because it's important to have a way to dispose of your baby's diapers, but it's also not super necessary to have a Diaper Genie. A baby bath, again, that is something you can go get on your own time. They're pretty inexpensive, like maybe $15. You don't need a lot of the high-tech ones that come out that look like an actual bathtub or anything like that. Babies don't care, and most of the time their baths take all of 5 to 10 minutes. And as long as it's safe for them, I've always just used the regular plastic baths, and I put it in the actual bathtub and then fill it up, a little bit. And you mostly use like a washcloth or a little small cup to put water on them. And that's always been easiest for me. But nowadays they've got like little baby slings and stuff to put in the bath. And I don't know. I wouldn't register for one, but again, everyone is different. And if you just want a lot of your supplies at your baby shower, go ahead and register for one of those baby baths, whatever one you want, because it's nice to just have everything kind of already there for you. Something that I do think is a must to register for, or it's a must to have, but you don't necessarily need to register for it, is a wipe warmer and a bottle warmer. Wipe warmers, again, it's more of a necessity. It's not it's not an actual, like, the baby has to have this, but it's really nice for them because sometimes those wipes can be really cold. I don't know if you've ever wiped yourself with one of those, but they can be really cold. And just to make your baby comfortable, I loved my wipe warmer. I still have it between both my kids, and I'm going to use it for this one. And a bottle warmer, it makes life so much easier because it warms the bottle a lot faster. You don't want to microwave bottles because then it creates hot spots, and then some of the bottles are plastic, and I just don't recommend microwaving them. You can totally boil some water and then just put those in there to warm up, but I have always found that a bottle warmer is faster at warming a bottle, and it warms it perfect. So those you can register for, or you can get on your own time, but I do recommend getting those. So now I'm moving on to the things that I find most important to register for, because either I think it's super important to have, or because they're the most expensive things, and it's just really helpful when family or good friends really want to help you out with these items. So one thing that I have always loved with all my kids is something called a taco bed. There's other names for them depending on the company. I will post a picture of what taco bed I had, but the picture that I have is not from an amazing angle, so you can kind of see what I'm talking about in my picture, but also I recommend Googling them and just seeing exactly what they look like. But they're super helpful. Now, I don't recommend this because a lot of experts or whatever, or the people that created it, say that it is not a safe environment for your baby to sleep in. But Avery would not sleep for the first 2 to 3 months of her life in her bassinet. She had to be in this taco bed because she felt really comfortable in it, and she had to be right next to me on my side of the bed. And so I watched Avery very closely. She was not able to get up and turn around, and I kept her blankets like right here, let her arms out, and swaddled her and made her really comfortable, and she slept in that. But again, I cannot recommend that because a lot of people say it is unsafe to do that. That's just from my own personal experience. I am not planning on doing that with this baby, but I really hope she sleeps like in her bassinet. But again, every child is different and you've got to find a way to sleep at night. So Google that if you don't get a good enough image from the picture that I post. I find that to be very important to register for. A car seat is super important to register for because car seats are insanely expensive. Strollers, if you're not pushing one of those $15 umbrella strollers, which with a newborn you're probably not going to do anyway, you're going to want to register for a stroller because strollers can also be very, very pricey. Not something you want to get on your own. A crib and a bassinet, those can be pricey. Again, as I have mentioned before, I would highly recommend going and looking at like a children's recycled clothing store, because like the one that I work at, we have all kinds of equipment too. And there are some very gently used bassinets there for probably half the price that you can get it for at the store. Like one that I have my eyes on that I want to get, because unfortunately we can't find pieces to our bassinet. We do need to get a new one. But there is a beautiful one where I work that I just love and I want to get it. And it's for $47. In a store, a bassinet is close to $100. And I could be totally wrong about that because I did not buy my own bassinet. But I want to say the ones that I have looked at in the past were close to that price. So check out a used store if you end up getting it yourself. But a crib and a bassinet, I do recommend asking for or registering for. A baby swing, babies love those swings. Both of my kids loved the baby swing. They just hang out in them, rock back and forth. It's super soothing and relaxing. A lot of them play music. A lot of them have little rattles that they can play with. And I highly recommend getting a baby swing. But again, pretty pricey. So I would register for one. A diaper bag, depending on the diaper bag you want. Some of them can be expensive, some of them not so bad. So you can totally register for a diaper bag. I think I registered for a diaper bag for my second baby, and my mom ended up getting it. Or she just had me pick one out. I can't remember if I registered one for James, or you can totally go just find your own. There are some inexpensive ones like $20. That's completely up to you on preference. I recommend registering for a baby monitor. I don't think that we registered for a baby monitor. I think my in-laws just went out and got us one after my son was born, because we didn't register. Because like I said, with our first one, we really didn't know what to register for, and we didn't pay attention to the small details, and we didn't really realize everything that we were going to need. So we just have the old-fashioned baby monitors, no cameras, no Wi-Fi, nothing like that. One that goes in the baby's room, and then one that you can have wherever you're at in the house. The one in the baby's room plugs in, and then the other one is by battery. So I still have it, and I'm going to use it with this kid too. I don't trust a lot of like the new higher tech things. You hear stories, and I know that there's probably some debates and arguments on that, but me personally, simpler the better. And I just have old-fashioned baby monitor that I love, and I'm going to use it. I don't know how much they are, but I do know just from walking through the baby section at stores that it can be, some of them can be really expensive depending on which one you want. So I would definitely register for a baby monitor. I would register for a pack and play, because as your baby gets a little bit bigger, the pack and play is going to help a lot. Like if the baby is napping in the living room with you, you can set up that pack and play. A lot of them have that top part that you can put them in, and then as they get bigger, you just like lower it, kind of like a crib. They're easy on the go if you're traveling, camping, anything. Pack and plays are amazing. And so I would definitely register for a pack and play. And then one of those baby carrier packs. See, for me, I have issues, especially having 2 other kids with me now. Like when I go grocery shopping, I don't want a giant car seat in front of me. I am 4'11". I can't see over that thing, and I have to look back and forth, and I just hate it. And then you can't put the car seat in the back of the cart because then you don't have anywhere to put your groceries. So, and then also I have had instances which, you know, I don't really know how to word this because not all grocery stores have this, but it doesn't necessarily have to have this to happen. So anyways, when Avery was a baby, I had her in a car seat. I had her in the cart, and inside the grocery store that I shop at, Fred Meyer, they have a play area for kids. I had James in the play area, and this is when he was really little. He was 2 years old. I was in the middle of signing him out. They opened up the door, and James went taking off in the grocery store, like towards the door. And because I had this cart with my baby in it, the store cannot be liable to watch your baby for you. And I'm screaming at my son to stop running, but he's 2, he doesn't understand. He almost made it out the front doors before I got to him, and I'm just dragging this cart behind me, and it was so embarrassing, and it was so frustrating too, because people see me yelling for my son to stop, and nobody is trying to stop my 2-year-old son from running towards the parking lot. And luckily I got to him where he stopped right at the door before that happened. It was very, very scary, but that could also happen not in a play place. If your kid is walking next to you, of course, now being a more experienced mom, I would never let something like that happen. If my kid tends to take off, I swore I would never put my kid on one of those kid leashes, but I would, because it's helpful to keep your kid close, especially if they fight you about sitting in the car or there's not enough room because there's a baby car seat there, and also your groceries. It's very difficult. So what I'm getting at is I recommend getting one of those baby packs, the ones that strap to you and the baby just sits here, or they've even got those wraps. They kind of crisscross and hold the baby right in front of you. I definitely plan to use one of those baby carriers or baby packs now, because I have 2 other children and I cannot even just deal with a giant car seat that's too heavy for me to even carry. So I'm going to use one of those baby packs. I really recommend registering for one of those, because not only are they important to have, they, depending on the brand, can be very pricey. So if there is a certain kind that fits you best, I know for me, because my body is so small, not all of them fit me correctly. They fit me very awkwardly. And if you have a selective few that fit you right, or that you like or prefer, some of those can be really expensive. So I recommend registering for that. And last but not least, this is a must, breastfeeding or not, because it helps also when your baby is learning to sit up, or if your baby is just kind of chilling on the floor on a blanket. Babies like to be propped up. They don't always like to be flat unless they're sleeping. But what I'm getting at is a Boppy Pillow. And it's kind of like a U-shaped pillow. And when you're breastfeeding, it's super helpful. You just kind of wrap this pillow around your waist, and you've got your arms supported, and you're holding your baby up. That is a good way to use it. Like I said, you can also prop your baby up on the floor with this Boppy pillow. It just kind of holds them in place, and their neck and their head is propped up, sometimes even like their upper back. I have always used my Boppy pillow to its full extent with both my kids. So I recommend getting a Boppy pillow. If you still don't know what I'm talking about, Google it and you'll probably know what I'm talking about. But that is a must to register for, not because it's like super expensive, because Boppy pillows aren't typically super expensive, I don't think, unless they've gone up in price since I bought one last. It's been 5 years, so it could be. They're just so important to have, and it'll be so nice to have, that I would definitely recommend registering for one of those. I may have left things out, but these are just things that I have personally used with my kids. And if anybody watching this has any other suggestions that really helped them with their kids that I did not mention, go ahead and put that in the comments below for anybody who is looking, who is a first-time mom and just really doesn't know what to register for. Like I said, my first time around registering, I registered for the things that I put on the least important list to register for. I registered for onesies, I registered for socks, I registered for baby towels, I registered for like bibs and swaddles, or the swaddling blankets. That was all that I really registered for. I didn't really know the importance of registering for these other things. I did not find these out until my in-laws started going out and just like buying all this stuff for my son when he was born, and they were all super helpful, and I used them with my second child, and I am definitely going to use these things with my third. But if you have any other questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to comment down below. I hope that this video helped you if you were looking for help to really find out what to register for. And yeah, thanks for watching this video, guys. Please give it a thumbs up if you found it to be helpful. Subscribe to my channel if you are interested in watching more videos or what's to come. I did have my baby shower, and I will probably, I wasn't able to bring everything home last night. We just didn't have enough room in the car. So when I have everything at home and kind of like spread out in the baby's room, I'll do like a little baby shower gift reveal of things that I got. And yeah, and so stay tuned for that, because that might also help you if you're looking to register for things for your baby shower, or just like to see new stuff like you do with like shopping hauls and stuff. So anyways, now that I'm rambling on and running out of things to say, please subscribe to my channel, like this video if you liked it or thought it was helpful. Feel free to comment down below again, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks, guys.